Anybody remember when the ships came? Spaniards with full clips made things change. Was it muskets, pikes, and some bayonets? Let's be honest, the conquest was at the checks. Tragically, the reality of history, you can't forget what you don't know, it don't mean ish to me. Falsely representing people with the rosary, psych, I just like no, we ain't got as close to me, supposedly. I learned about my past, but when I sat in my class, the only thing I passed was gas, looking nothing like my forefathers, so why bother? Learning civil rights, I'd rather hook up with their daughters. The Spanish came, blah blah blah, they took us over, now we gang bang. Blah blah blah, they look us over. Soldier, look over your shoulder before they got you. It's not you, it's just what they taught you.
In and out the system since I was 13 years old. They said my story would be the same story always told. That story, well, the ending is kinda cold. So I wrote my own story instead of letting that unfold. My stature's 5'8", but I stand a little bit taller. There's a reason why I had to acquire the knowledge. Finish up my schooling and take it to college. Cause nowadays we need more thought when we're pursuing the movement.
So we just try to keep it mellow at the same time and educate. We're in Utah State, right? What's the license plate say? Elevate.
So elevate your mind, elevate your speech, elevate everything that they told you to preach. Elevate the way you speak, the way you behave. Elevate your mind state and just be brave.
A thorough understanding of our people means that we explore the depth of the entire continent of the Americas. It is a history that goes back thousands of years and continues to this day.
Tell me what it means to you to be Hispanic.
To be Hispanic is it's a challenging question. There's cultural aspects, you know, the identity. A los Latinos nos gusta echar mucha parranda y fiesteros, but I think there's more to it than that.
People just automatically have this flavor that draws you in and makes you want to get to know them.
Y es así, pues me siento orgulloso de ser latino porque tenemos muchas cosas en común a pesar de que venimos de lugares muy diferentes.
Sabes, mira, esa pregunta es bien interesante. Cuando estaba en México nunca me puse a pensar como qué significa ser latina, pero cuando vine aquí en Estados Unidos, la verdad me da mucho orgullo.
I define Hispanic as a revolutionary culture, a culture of rich history that goes back.
From the time I learned to speak, I spoke Spanish.
La cultura es todo lo que somos nosotros.
It's a part of me, you know. It's like I would say it's part of my spirit. You know, something about the way I talk, the way I act, the way I think. There's certain roots that are within me, and it doesn't define exactly who I am, but it plays a major role in who I am.
If people ask me about my identity, I identify as Asian Pacific Islander usually, but I also identify as a graffiti artist, as a tagger, a writer. I was a tagger in Los Angeles, and I was involved in that sort of artwork and that sort of urban art. And so, you know, taggers are from, you know, people often wonder what motivation taggers have in terms of their identity. And part of that comes in terms of finding our own space in society.
Latino and Latina culture is an expression of these layers of identity. Our art and ideas seek to influence mainstream gringo culture. We are impacting society with symbols, poetry, film, and music. They come in diverse forms, but what is different is wonderfully unique and refreshing.
So the Hidden Voices program here at UVU was just an idea. You know, Kyle Reyes had the idea of exhibiting urban art at a museum, and we went on with the idea. I became involved, and the purpose of the program was to display urban art or graffiti to the public.
Well, that night we waited, and 540 people showed up that night. Community members, donors, board members, President Holland, other administrators, even a police officer and his family. And what we did that night was we shifted the conversation within our own community.
A well-educated country is a very strong country. Yet, a Latino education crisis is happening in the United States, plagued by low graduation and college entry rates.
Yo creo que los latinos, especialmente los chicos que están viniendo ahora, incluso los padres, tienen una capacidad tremenda para hacer lo que ellos se propongan.
One thing that we need to be careful of is falling into stereotypes, you know, and not every Latino is the same. Not every Asian American is the same. And so everyone needs something different.
Por ejemplo, aquí en UVU el acceso está abierto, entonces es una de las cosas que no saben, que tienen el acceso.
Pero yo siento que realmente no están implementando un currículum que le interesa mucho a los latinos, porque no es relevante a ellos. O sea, no se sienten conectados con este país ni con su propio país.
Entonces nosotros por eso estamos aquí unidos, para poder ayudarles y decirles que ellos pueden, que ellos vayan a abrir puertas que se están esperándolas para ellos.
I think that for too long in history, the Latino people have been out in the shadows. And I think that education is the only way to shed a light on ourselves and to, you know, become someone and be a very bright people.
I am going to be a psychologist.
Soy un artista de estudio, pintor, y me gusta dibujar también.
What I want to do sooner or later is become a corporate owner.
Y yo voy a ser un abogado.
I eventually want to become a general manager at a major hotel.
I am going to be a social worker.
I want to be the best journalist this world has ever seen.
I'd like to be a high school teacher and eventually a college professor.
I'm going into higher education.
I am going to be the Cesar Chavez of my generation.
As a people, the future is uncertain. However, there is one truth, and that is our growth remains unparalleled to any group in the United States and will continue to be so. Where that takes us is a question and responsibility for our descendants, you, to remember and never forget. Nevertheless, there will be an answer to that question, and that answer will always be que sí, sí se puede.
My chancleta got caught. Wait.
My Dominican.
Yeah. Woo, that was good. That was good.